Sabby, what's your favourite biscuit?
Well, it's got to be rich teas because they're great for dunking in coffee, and you have to do two at a time, not singles.
Okay, lovely. I'd go digestive.
Okay.
What do you love most about being CEO at Athon?
Oh, I think there's lots of things. I mean, it's what we're trying to achieve with this particular technology. We're going to change so many people's lifestyles, their quality of life, and that's amazing. And I think the other thing is I'm so fortunate I've got such an amazing team around me. The engineering team, the non-exec team, people are all in it just to make this a reality, bring this project to life.
If you could give yourself, or your 25-year-old self, one piece of advice, what would it be?
Go chase your dream. Simple as that.
Brilliant.
Don't listen to any naysayers. Just go for it.
Who has been an inspiration to you?
I think my biggest inspiration from when I was growing up has got to be my uncle. Growing up in East Africa, I saw this guy leave his parents and emigrate to another country to go and seek education. He studied hard to be at the top of his class and come to university at UMIST at that time to do a degree in quantity surveying. I found that so aspirational, and I've always looked up to him. But even at an elderly age, he was reinventing himself, and he thought that he went and did something totally different at Cambridge. And I thought, wow, if he can do it at that age, I must, surely I can do something, and I can always develop and become a better individual. And he's been one of my greatest inspirations. And all through life, I've looked at people, and every time I meet a person, I say, well, what are their qualities that I can aspire to? And I've been very fortunate. I've had amazing parents who've tried to mold me into the individual I am now. I've got kids that are amazing, and I'm constantly learning from them as well. I have an amazing wife as well. So it's all of these people I try and get inspiration from them on every single day of my life.
So what made you consider diabetes? When was that moment that you thought, I've got something here that could change the lives of diabetics?
I always tell people the story, whereas I was sitting with my business partner in the lab, and we had a very Heath Robinson experiment. We thought, surely with microwave technology, you must be able to detect other biological constituents. And we had a couple of satellite antennas, waveguide antennas, and in the middle of it, we had a plastic bag full of saline, and we were loading it with glucose, and we saw something. And it was such a Heath Robinson moment. And it was like, wow, that was a moment we thought, we've got the potential of something here. And as silly as it may sound, that really was the moment that triggered all of this, and I must say we've come a long, long way since then.
Yeah. And how long ago was that moment?
Oh, gosh, that's about 17 odd years ago.
Wow,
yeah.
A long time. Okay, do you have time to relax? And if so, what do you do to relax?
Relax, that word doesn't exist in the vocabulary, in my dictionary. I do try and relax, and I think it's very difficult for me to switch off because I'm eating, breathing, living this thing. But I do try and go home. I learned a very valuable lesson with my first startup many years ago, and my two boys were growing up at that time. They were very young, and I was so focused on getting the startup going that I missed a lot of their childhood, and I cannot recall a lot of their childhood. And I'm so angry with myself, that I let wonderful years of their life go by without being part of it. And so I've tried to make sure I don't repeat that with my daughter. So I try and spend a lot of time with her, with my family. And I think I have, I know actually, I've got, my wife is phenomenal in the sense that she makes sure that I get downtime, I get a chance to relax. We have date nights where we play video games, which is absolutely fantastic. I wouldn't have thought about that, but that's what we do. We go to the movies, and also with the kids, we sit down and we watch movies. And that is something that I really do enjoy doing. So yeah, that's how I try and relax.
Important.
Yeah.
When your staff let you.
When my staff let me, absolutely.
So here's an interesting question. What's your greatest fear, and how do you manage your fear?
I hate flying. I really hate flying with a passion. And I've tried to get used to it. I think the problem is I'm an engineer. I'm trying to look at everything, the constructional parts of the plane. And I think it really started years ago when I got on a flight in the States. And you won't believe it, but there was duct tape on the wing, right? And that freaked me out, or it looked like duct tape. But I thought, my God, what's holding this thing up? So I have a tendency of over-analyzing it, and that sort of had taken a hold on me now. And I do hate flying. And typically you can tell when I've got a flight looming, because 4 or 5 days before the flight, I start switching off, I start withdrawing, and people around me can tell, that's something that you're ready to fly. So yeah, it's a big, I'm even getting nervous now.
All the more reason not to go on holidays.
Yes, I know.
So in that case, if you could have one magic power.
Oh, I'd be to fly. I'd want to be able to Superman and fly.
Do you have a motto that you live by?
Yeah, I think, I've grown up on a couple of continents, looked at different lifestyles. I've been very privileged in that respect, that I've been exposed to different cultures, different religions, faiths, types of people. And I've learned one thing: life is too short. We don't need to be judgmental. We don't need to criticize people or what their beliefs are, what they wear, what they, look like or anything. Just concentrate on yourself, focus on yourself, live your life to the best of your abilities. Everything else will take care of itself. Be honest, don't go out to hurt people. I think that's a long-winded motto, but that's just really my...
And I think working with you, I think you take that approach in the way you deal with your employees as well, which is great. So what motivates you to get up every morning and come and work on this project at Afon?
I think, Beth, you've just got to look at it. We've come a long, long way. I could have only dreamed of being in this position. We've got a wearable device. Years ago when I started on this journey, it was so far out. Being able to think that we'll have a wearable device that people can actually use to monitor their blood glucose level. And it was slideware. It was just a wacky idea that I had. And I went through the process of trying to raise money and all of that. People took a punt. And the investors that we've got on there, I'm so forever grateful, that they decided to take this punt. And I hope that we can reward it. But the excitement I get, and I think I can't stress this enough, the team that we have here is just absolutely phenomenal. And I get a buzz out of it. We're so lucky. I wanted to always build a company in the way that and treat people the way that I'd want to be treated. It's a mix. We're a mixed bag here, different nationalities, equal mix of male, female individual. And I think that's so important, getting that pick, because you have different people's ideas, different ways of thinking. And I get such a buzz out of it, and I just love everyone here, and that's the project. That's what I come in for.
Brilliant. Final question. Just been on holiday to Barbados. What was the highlight? Finally, after 4 years waiting to get on this holiday, what was the best bit?
I think I just love that place, because it's just reminds me so much of when I grew up in East Africa, in Kenya. Just drinking coconut water straight out of the raw coconuts, being able to go onto the beach, just swimming. And I really enjoyed it because I gave myself the opportunity to relax, I think it was just a whole experience of it all. It was just fabulous.
Great. You come back rejuvenated.
I'd like to think so.
Ready to continue
and jet-lagged.
Jet-lagged. Thanks, Abby. I think hopefully people have got to know a little bit more about you. And good luck, Afon.
Absolutely.